afford it. When Don Johnson walks in a club, dancers show off his initials, and celebrities pay their respects. The scene is all engineered by the casinos, because they want to win his money. I want Don to show me how he beats the casinos at their own game.
Hi.
Hi, Trish.
So nice to meet you.
My guide to Las Vegas treats the casino like a battlefield. He studies the industry, its strengths, and its shortcomings. To know Las Vegas, he says, you have to start at the beginning.
So where we're heading right now?
Fremont Street, Old City, where all of Vegas started.
You come here and gamble?
More just to play around and have fun. Come down here because it's nostalgic.
Gamblers often learn to play here because the bets are low, and it's relaxed, friendly. The first Vegas casinos opened here back in the 1930s.
This is history.
This was the beginning of what ultimately became the Vegas Strip.
5 miles south, enormous tourist-filled casinos flash their glittering lights. This is the famous Vegas Strip, and it lives up to its reputation. Gaudy, but above all, full of promise, possibility, excitement. 2 giant companies dominate the Strip, MGM and Caesars Entertainment. The last time Don played at a Caesars property, he walked out the door with $4 million in blackjack winnings. Since then, the company is, shall we say, less welcoming.
The upper management at Caesars took a position that my type of business isn't something that they want to build a portfolio on. In fact, it's the exact opposite.
I wonder why.
Maybe long term they just determine they can't make money off of someone like me. I can accept that, that's fine.
He says he's been barred from Caesars for life. Is that because he's too good?
We can't, nor would we, bar you from coming to the casino. What we won't do is solicit him with expensive inducements to come to the casino.
While Gary Loveman, the CEO of Caesars, may not offer Don perks anymore, nearly all the other big companies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on Don just to get him in the door.
So if they want you to spend, and they know that you can spend big, they'll make it really easy for you to be here.
The catering to high-end players starts before they even think about coming here. They'll bring a player from the East Coast to Las Vegas. The MGM property has the mansion, which is 29 villas under a climate-controlled dome.
And you get to stay for free?
Well, nothing's free. It's all factored into the game.
I'll give you a little secret inside baseball on casinos.
Jim Murren is the CEO of MGM. He owns 10 Vegas casinos, and Don is getting perks at every one of them.
Let's say you're going to spend about $1,000. Theoretically, we're going to win $200 from you, about 20% of the money you circulate.
So the house engineers a statistical advantage. On average, you'll lose that 20% of the money you play.
So are there certain games where you have a better edge over the player than others?
The best chance of beating the casino is with baccarat. And that's followed by perfect strategy of blackjack, playing straight up craps, and then every game in between has its different set of holds. If you play the big 6 wheel that we always stick right in the front of the casino, you don't have much of a chance. My guys are going to hate me for saying this because we do really well on that.
If the house wins so predictably, how do casinos keep gamblers coming back? The answer? Perks.
We're going to win, theoretically, $200. I can comp you to induce you to come out here. I'll give you about $80 worth of stuff.
And the more money spent, the more money casinos make.
Now move the math up to a whale. If a whale is going to theoretically lose $200,000, I should be willing to give him $80,000 worth of stuff. But you can't eat that much caviar. You know, even if I fly you from point A to point B, I'm probably not burning $80,000 worth of fuel. So the margin on the high end, the margin on the whales is higher.
High rollers generate an estimated 25% of all gaming revenue on the Strip.
But here's the thing. You have to have their length of play. The longer people play, statistically, the house is going to win.
Which is why casinos will do just about anything to keep the whales playing.
Easy transportation?
Very easy transportation.
A nice room?
Beautiful rooms.
Alcohol?
Well, there's always alcohol.
Food? So whatever you want.
Yeah, they're going to try and customize a package. If the player's big enough, they're going to try and give him what he wants.
Problem is, Don Johnson is no ordinary whale. Because the more he plays, the more he wins. His biggest single night was at the Tropicana.
Take me back. What happened?
I beat him big. I think a lot of it just had to do with a huge bet that you can put down. When I had a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 hand, out there, I won those. It's very, very difficult to lose if you win those big bets.
He racked up $5.6 million in chips before management cut him off.
Did word spread throughout the casino?
I think it spread through the entire town. And then when I woke up later on, then I got several phone calls from different casinos asking if it was true.
And yet the casinos were calling you to see if you wanted to come play at their place?
Sure. I think at that point they felt, look, I mean, he's won it there. Why not get him to come in over here? We'll see if we can get him to lose part of it back, or all of it back.
But Don rarely loses. He went on to gamble at 2 more casinos during that trip and won another $10 million before he quit.
I guarantee you, anybody at home watching this right now probably thinks, he counted cards. That's how he did it. Is there more to it than that?
Monkeys can count cards. Card counting alone is not going to get you all the way there. I knew that I had a better chance of winning than I did of losing against them, so I took advantage of it.
People say you do play perfectly, Don.
If you have an edge, if you play long enough over a large enough sample size of hands, you're going to win.
What gave him an edge, he says, was knowing the game, the players, and most importantly, understanding the odds on the casino floor.
So it's all just math?
All of it's math. Everything on this casino floor is math, just like a Wall Street trading floor. You're trying to find inefficiencies in the way they offer their games. And when you find an inefficiency, yes, you're going to take advantage of it.
Don found an inefficiency in the casino's perk system. Sometimes they give away too much.
There's a natural collision of interest between the marketing side of a casino and the operation side of a casino. The marketing side of the casino wants to buy the business. They want to give away as much as possible to try and get players in.
If he could resist all the superficial enticements the casinos dangled in front of him, Don realized he could negotiate something far more valuable.
It will test you. It'll test you a lot, and it's hard.
How Don Johnson turned the perk system to his advantage when we come back. The Bellagio, one of the most dazzling casinos on the Strip.
A lot of people gather right here. We're outside the Bellagio Hotel, and they gather here because this really is one of the best views in all of Vegas. You can see pretty much the whole Strip. You've got everything from Caesar's Palace there, all the way down Treasure Island, the Venetian back there, and of course, the Eiffel Tower.
High rollers come to the Bellagio's Hyde nightclub to enjoy one of the most expensive perks in the city.
Wow, I like this table.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Really neat.
What makes this table worth $250,000 a night? This red button.
Okay, here we go.
Wow. Now I believe it. You know, it cost them 10 grand every time they fire these things off. I just want to keep hitting the button.
It's gonna be an expensive night.
The Bellagio and its sibling property, the Mirage, transformed the Vegas Strip in the 90s. Both were designed by one man, Steve Wynn. They made him the most legendary casino magnate alive today.
What it takes to dazzle everybody today is 100 times more ambitious, complex, and challenging than before.
Wynn is the nemesis of every whale on the Strip because he's always inventing new temptations to keep them in the casino. From nightclubs to shows to celebrity chef restaurants.
And they're all coming here for the experience.
We've trained the public and raised their expectations. A good thing.
A good thing for Steve Wynn, because when Don Johnson's on a winning streak, he heads to Wynn's new clubs to celebrate.
What is it about his properties that are different than everything else here?
Steven's a perfectionist. It's as though spare no expense. If you build it, people will come. The Wynn experience. And they do. They do. Thousands of them show up in these clubs.
Wynn was an unlikely candidate for the most influential casino developer in history.
How does an English major from the University of Pennsylvania wind up becoming a casino mogul?
The question even more appropriate is, how does a boy of opportunity take up a life of crime?
He can joke about Vegas's criminal history because he was one of the first casino moguls without ties to the mob. Wynn's casinos are financed by Wall Street and inspired by high-end hotels of the 1950s, especially the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach.
I would go on vacation to the Fontainebleau and I would watch the people behave in this place with such joy and happiness. It was utopian. And the guy that built the place, he marched around with his beautiful wife, And the only thing that I could think of is, it's good to be king. That's what it looked like to me.
He eventually would become king of Las Vegas, but he started out small, working in his father's bingo halls. In the early 1970s, he took over the Golden Nugget Casino in Old Downtown. But it wasn't until he opened Mirage in 1989 that Wynn got to show off his talent for spectacle. Outside, a volcano explodes every night.
I think every developer demonstrates what he thinks of the public by the product he creates. If you believe that people have discretion, that they know the difference and will respond to it, then you'll dish it up to them, even if it costs more, with the confidence that it'll pay off.
He says that kind of fun is the key to winning in Las Vegas. Keep them entertained, and gamblers will lose. Every single one of them.
My father was a problem gambler. He knew he wasn't going to win. He just liked the game more than the money. We'll go and grab the biggest players in the building. I'll ask them off the record to tell you why they're risking $50,000 a roll on dice. Why are you doing it? Do you have some purpose in mind? Yes, to amuse myself. I like the game.
Have you ever worried that you've had a problem with gambling?
You know, you worry at times.
Yeah?
You want to make sure that is your mind sound, and it will test you. It'll test you a lot, and it's hard.
How do you know when to stop? I mean, if you're up $1 million, you're up $2 million, what keeps you going to 5.8 million?
They ran out of chips.
Don says he wins because as much as he may like the clubs, he doesn't let the Vegas lifestyle distract him. Instead, he stays focused, studying casinos, looking for signs of weakness. A couple of years ago, he noticed something that would give him the ultimate edge.
I don't see as many big players as what I saw just 5 years ago. So I don't see the big action, not in Vegas.
So all the more reason for casinos to try and woo someone like you to get you in the door.
Yeah, man.
The recession left casinos vulnerable to an attack by a killer whale like him.
Are you exploiting weaknesses where you find them?
You're not doing anything different than what a very smart hedge fund operator would do on Wall Street. He sees an inefficiency in a market and he starts buying stock.
How the struggling casino industry provided Don Johnson with the biggest opportunity of his career when we come back.
4.25 million in the span of what, less than 24 hours?
Probably around maybe 12 hours.
At night, Las Vegas looks invincible. But fly over the Strip at dawn, and its secrets are revealed. These steel and concrete skeletons have taunted the city for 5 years. Evidence of the biggest commercial real estate bubble in history and its spectacular implosion.
There's an awful lot of pain out here in Las Vegas. A lot of drama, a lot of stress, a lot of fear.
MGM CEO Jim Murren is halfway through building a casino complex the size of a small city when Wall Street crashed.